Right now, a body is recovered in a lake in northwest Dane County, what authorities have shared so far. Also, a Madison construction worker is injured after a 50-foot fall, what authorities are saying. Plus, we're following how in Belleville, Brewery Hop Garden is hosting a new event they hope will become an annual staple. We'll take you to the Winter Games. That's all coming up on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jalen Banks. We're bringing you some developing news tonight. A statewide missing endangered person alert has been issued for a woman traveling through Wisconsin. Erica Lynn Brown is 37 years old and traveling from Florida to Canada via Minneapolis with 2 children. Police say she is currently in a delusional state based on information provided from her mother. Officials say she is not capable of taking care of her children. Erica is white with blonde, brown, medium-length hair. She was last seen wearing a hooded sweatshirt and leggings. Right now, it's believed she's driving a white 2016 Hyundai Accent with an Ohio license plate. Police believe she crossed into Wisconsin from Illinois around 4:30 today. If you have any information, please contact Wisconsin Dells Police at 608-253-1611. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says they have recovered a body from Fish Lake in northwest Dane County. This happened around 2:15 p.m. today. The body was located and recovered by members of the Dane County Sheriff's Office Marine and Trail Enforcement Dive Team. An investigation into the incident will be taking place. The identity of the body recovered will be confirmed after the person's family has been notified. And a construction worker is in critical condition Saturday after falling from about 50 feet in downtown Madison. The fire department was dispatched to the corner of State and Fairchild Streets at around 9:30 a.m. for a construction crane that dropped a 20 to 30,000 pound beam. The worker, who was taken to the hospital, reportedly fell with the beam as it went through sublevels of the construction. Another employee was reportedly stranded with the crane above the site. No one else was injured as a result of the incident. And we'll continue to keep you updated on all of these incidents as we gather more information. To keep up with the latest on the stories, you can download our Channel 3000 Plus news app. Just head on over to your app store to get those updates straight to your phone. And it's a bit of a warm-up. Hopefully it sticks around. Let's go ahead and get a look at your first one forecast with meteorologist Blaze Keller. Blaze.
Yeah, take a look at those temperatures that we climbed to today. Jalen and folks at home, 28 in the Dells. We got to 30 in Watoma. We did not get to 86 in Watertown. We were likely right around 22 or 23 degrees. 21, though, was our high in Janesville. 24 in Prairie du Chien. 26 in Camp Douglas. A little bit cooler now as we begin to make our way into Sunday. Temperatures in those single digits for the most part. It's still 10, though, in Juneau. We've slipped below 0 for air temperatures in Black River Falls, but 16 in Monroe and 12 in Platteville. So not too bad of an evening. A bit of a wind chill maybe out there, but compared to the same time last night, a little bit cooler, and we can probably blame those open skies for that, allowing what heat we did see today to quickly escape back into the atmosphere. Now, February starts tomorrow, and we are going to be welcoming in the new month with cloudy conditions and some snow as we head further into Sunday. When that snow will begin, and how much we could see by the time we go into Monday, that's all coming up in the full forecast.
All right, sounds good, Blaze. We'll see you then. Following the death of Alex Preddy by ICE agents in Minnesota last week, cyclists around the country joined in today for the Unity Ride in his honor, including those here in Madison. Cyclists from all over the Madison area made it to the Capitol for the Ride for Unity event. Starting at the Capitol, bikers met to begin an 8-mile route around the city with the goal of spreading awareness through kindness.
It feels really great to be part of over 100 different communities that are holding a ride today in Alex's honor. It really shows that it doesn't matter who you are, that, you know, if you're part of our community, we're going to show up for you.
The Unity Ride is just one of the many protests against ICE that happened in Madison and nationwide since the start of the year. Today, people gathered at Library Mall across from UW-Madison's Memorial Union to demonstrate against the Iranian regime. Right now in Iran, thousands have been arrested or killed for protesting against the current government. Organizers of the event say issues in Iran involve attacks on civilians by the government, internet blackouts, and at least 43,000 deaths. Those figures have not yet been verified by independent agencies, but previous death tolls from activist agencies on the ground in Iran amounted to over 6,000. Cities across the globe have begun to demonstrate in support of protesters in Iran.
One thing led to another, and we've seen like more frequencies in terms of people protesting and coming out of the streets and demanding change.
Especially in a city like Madison, that people care about these issues. We hope that we raise some awareness about what is happening.
Organizers say the goal of today's demonstration was not to only get attention from local and federal government, but to also show solidarity to those in Iran. Now, Wisconsin is projected to have a $2.5 billion surplus at the end of the current budget. However, the state is still spending more money than it's receiving. This Sunday on For the Record, political reporter Eliel Liberté sits down with the Wisconsin Policy Forum to break down what that means.
I think it might be kind of confusing for people to hear that we're spending more than we're taking in, but we have this huge surplus.
Yeah, if you just want to think about it, you can have a family. They've saved up money over time, right? Let's say they had both parents working. They were both making a good income, and they saved up money over time. But then one of them cuts back on their hours at work, and they still have savings, but all of a sudden their expenses are greater than their income.
You can watch how property taxes fit into the budget surplus this Sunday at 10:30 on For the Record. Today, a new brewery hosted their first ever winter games, following in the footsteps of one of their other locations in Wisconsin. Our Nash Dara has the story.
That's right, Jalen. Brave Souls fought off the cold this afternoon to join in on some friendly competition outside of the Hop Garden in Belleville, which opened this past summer. The bar and brewery has been conducting the games for 8 years now, but the opening of its new doors just a half an hour south of Madison stirred the opportunity for another rendition on their take of the winter games.
Well, it was really slow and we were bored in Paoli, so we came up with this event, and it's been growing every year, and now we're doing it at all of our locations. It's just a lot of fun because it's the middle of winter. It's a good reason to get outside. It's been super cold the last few weeks, and people are just excited to try to get outside, so the weather cooperated. It was wonderful.
Contest consisted of a brat toss, Steinhold, as well as the fan favorite keg toss. And whether you were participating or just enjoying your Saturday, the building was packed full of people enjoying the weekend.
Favorite was the hot dog toss. That was fun. But I have right now the women's record on the beer stein holding. Super fun. A great way to come out and meet people in the community and build business here in Belleville. We love it.
And do not worry if you missed out on today. The Hop Garden will be hosting 2 more games at their other locations. Paoli's at the end of February, and their Evansville spot will have theirs in March.
Nash, thank you. For more details and information on time, dates, and locations of future games, those can be found on Hop Garden's Facebook page. Now, pickleball lovers are getting yet another place to play. Pickleball Kingdom, an entirely indoor club, is opening in Sun Prairie. This location is the third to open in the state of Wisconsin and will give people the opportunity to play year-round without having to worry about the weather. Many showed up for the grand opening and ribbon-cutting event in Sun Prairie, bringing those in the pickleball community together for special events.
We have had this dream of opening a pickleball indoor facility in Madison area for a couple of years. To be able to do this in Sun Prairie, where we live, is a special thing. It's so close to our heart.
Governor Tony Evers even made an appearance today, sharing the economic impact pickleball has had on the state, saying that communities getting involved with the sport have seen an annual income of $500,000. Pickleball Kingdom offers opportunities for pickleball players of all levels, from beginners classes to memberships for those who are just a little bit more seasoned. The Grammy Awards are just a day away. Kendrick Lamar leads the 2026 Grammys with 9 nominations, an encore of last year's success, taking home 5 awards. He's competing again for Record of the Year alongside Bad Bunny, Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii, Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, and more. And music critic Chris Willman says the Grammys voter base is evolving.
One thing the Recording Academy has done recently is invite everyone who votes for the Latin Grammys to become a voter for the regular Grammys. And so that is going to cause a big shift, I think, in giving Latin music more of a chance.
You can watch the Grammys Awards this Sunday from 7 to 10:30 right here on CBS. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 10, Blaze returns with a complete look of your first warn forecast. Plus, the U.S. has forces within striking distance of Iran, what the president might decide to do next. And the Southeast is getting slammed by a winter storm. We'll check in on how this is impacting millions.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10. Moving forward.
Tonight, rising tensions in the Persian Gulf. The U.S. military has assembled a formidable force within striking range of Iran. Now President Trump must decide how to use it. CBS's Haley Yott has more on this latest tensions.
On the streets of Tehran, things may look like they're back to normal. The reality is far from it. At cemeteries, Iranians are mourning their dead. After some of the largest protests against the Islamic Republic in years swept across the country, and the regime's brutal crackdown killed up to tens of thousands of people.
If you do it, you're going to pay a price like that.
President Trump threatened to intervene if any protesters were killed. Now he's threatening military action if Iran doesn't negotiate over its nuclear program. To warn of the potential cost of that action, murals in Tehran put up by the government of coffins draped in American and Israeli flags.
They had guns.
It's a cost some protesters, like Zara, whose name we've changed to protect her identity, is willing to pay.
It's like chemotherapy. Yes, if there's some bombing, of course there will be casualty, and I'm very upset to even think of it.
Do you have a message to President Trump?
I just want him to keep his word.
Haley Yott, CBS News, London.
A federal judge is ruling the Trump administration's immigration enforcement surge can continue in Minnesota. The state and the Twin Cities sued federal officials earlier this month, calling Operation Metro Surge a federal invasion that violates the Constitution. In her ruling, the judge wrote the plaintiffs made a strong showing that the enforcement surge has had a profound impact on the state. But she wrote the harms of the operation must be balanced with the harms an injunction would pose to the government's efforts to enforce immigration law. In a statement, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey said while he was disappointed in the ruling, the city will continue to pursue the lawsuit. New health data shows flu activity in the U.S. has ticked up a bit. According to an epidemiologist, Americans are seeing a second peak and rebound in the flu. Dr. Caitlin Rivers says the current pattern is similar to last year's, when flu cases surged in late February after dropping. She adds this new trend is concentrated in children, but with adults next in line to likely be affected. And the extreme winter weather also plays a role in current flu trends. The CDC echoed those findings in a report that showed influenza B strains are slowly increasing. Experts say even if you've already had the flu this year, it's possible to get it again if you catch another strain. However, the latest flu vaccine offers protections against both strains A and B. The Trump administration has made a selection for who it wants as the next Bureau of Labor Statistics, and its commissioner, Brad Matsumoto, currently serves as a senior economist on the Trump Council of Economic Advisors. He held the same role in the president's first term. Matsumoto previously served as a supervisory researcher at the BLS. The nomination requires confirmation from the Senate. President Trump fired the previous Bureau of Labor Statistics commissioner last August. Trump accused that last commissioner of manipulating monthly jobs reports for, quote, political purposes. Tonight, the extreme winter weather, a bomb cyclone hitting parts of the eastern seaboard. It's a burst of Arctic air that's causing blizzard-like conditions. The Carolinas are seeing the worst of it. Every county under winter storm warnings until Sunday morning. CBS's Skylar Henry is covering it all in Norfolk, Virginia.
Another winter storm is slamming the south. Heavy snowfall blanketed streets in the Carolinas. Some areas might see up to 18 inches this weekend.
This is probably the most snow that I've seen here since 2018, so I think this is going to surpass that.
Just outside of Charlotte, video captured the moments where a train collided with the front of an 18-wheeler. Flurries and sub-freezing wind chills are being felt in Alabama and Georgia and Virginia. In Norfolk, a Carnival cruise had to end its trip early due to the conditions, with passengers missing out on a stop to Turks and Caicos.
First cruise? Not ending the way you thought it was.
Not at all, no. The snow is also causing other major travel disruptions in the U.S. More than 2,200 flights were canceled Saturday. In Tallahassee, Florida, light snow fell as the state faces its coldest temperatures in decades. Other parts of the country are still digging out from last week's storm. More than 50,000 frustrated Tennessee residents still don't have power.
This is the coldest
and the worst I've ever been in my damn life.
In the Northeast, it's the second week of a deep freeze. Officials suspect frigid temperatures caused these cables to fall on cars Friday in New York City. Crews there have worked to melt more than 20 million pounds of snow using what they're dubbing as hot tubs. And the D.C. National Guard has joined the effort to remove dangerous snow and ice from schools in the city.
The National Guard has troops standing by in at least 15 states prepared to help in different communities following this wintry weather. They say that they also have a presence in North Carolina and here in Virginia as well as this winter mess continues. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of us have been seeing some extreme weather as of late, but things seem to be quieting down here, huh, Blaze?
That's right. You know, earlier this month, we were looking at temperatures, the average temperature 10 degrees above normal. A couple of 50-degree days will certainly do that. Now, a completely different story, as now our average temperature is nearly 3 degrees below normal. 2 days back-to-back with high temperatures not even getting above zero will also do that. So this January has been one that I will certainly remember for quite some time. What does February have in store for us? Well, the first day, a little bit of some light snow as a high-pressure system exits, pushing further off towards the southeast, allowing this clipper to move on in, beginning later Sunday afternoon. It will fall apart. It will weaken as it scoots across Lake Superior, and that's going to mean our snow totals will likely be on the lighter side. And then quickly following that clipper, another high-pressure system going to reinforce some cooler air as we go Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. But then Thursday, we're back into those 30s. It's been quite some time since we've been in the 30s, and that'll be our first above average high temperature in about 20 or so days. So back at home, closer to home, I should say, there's that snow moving on in. I don't think it's going to really start to impact us until the second half of Sunday as that clipper makes its way over Superior into northern parts of Wisconsin. Not as much consistent blue on the future track. We're not seeing that widespread snow chance. And if we look at the snow totals, it kind of reinforces what I've been thinking based on the fact that this low pressure system is going to be weakening. Our snow totals are likely going to be on the lesser side. About a half an inch at best for a lot of southern Wisconsin. Closer to the Mississippi River, parts of Vernon, Crawford, Grant, maybe even western parts of Iowa, Richland, and Lafayette, we might get close to that inch mark. It is going to be a light, fluffy snow, so it will likely move its way out of here as we go into next week. Obviously, Monday being Groundhog Day, we'll tune in to see what Jimmy and Puxatawny Phil have in their forecast, but you should always trust us here at News 3 Now. We're a little bit smarter than those groundhogs. We're looking at the 20s, low 20s, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 30s, Thursday and Friday, and we'll do it again that weekend into the following work week. What I can foresee happening here as we go over the next 2-ish weeks up to about the middle of, say, February, we're going to likely be seasonal with a few, not a lot, but a few warmer than average days, probably more cooler than average days by a few degrees. I don't foresee any 20, 30, 40 degree below normal days in the future. I just see this kind of prolonged seasonal to cool, slightly cooler than average trend continuing through about Valentine's Day. Becky is making the most out of the cold up in Rio, making some ice luminaires. I've never seen that before. I thought it was so cool. Thank you for sending us that, Becky. You can scan the QR code. You can head over to our website. If you have the First Warn Weather app, you can submit weather photos right there in the app, and we love to see them and then show them off. There's a look at the 7 and 10 day forecast. A little bit of snow Sunday into Monday, quiet Tuesday, Wednesday. With the warmer temperatures comes another chance for a wintry mix Thursday and Friday of next week.
Yeah, she was channeling her inner Elsa there from Frozen. With
I don't know that one.
No?
No.
Frozen?
Yeah.
Elsa, the ice?
Yeah, the ice like
She made.
All right, what do we have coming up in sports?
Coming up still ahead in sports for you guys. Wisconsin women's hockey lost 5 players. If that slowed them down or they kept gliding. Next on News 3 Now.
And now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS Telecom.
You would think after you lose 5 players to the Olympics that your team would struggle in a border battle in Minnesota, but that wasn't the case today for Wisconsin women's hockey. Right away on the power play, Cassie Hall glides one in. Cassie Hall glides one in for the Badgers to take the lead, and you would have thought the Gophers lost 5 of their players the way they were playing because they were nowhere to be found as Cassie Hall steps up big for the Badgers with a hat trick, knocking another one in, sealing this one 6-1. Also, when the Twin Cities on the men's side trailing early on, it was hard to come back as the Gophers had their way with the Badgers, handing them their 6th straight loss this season, the score being 4-8. After their streak was snapped, Wisconsin men's basketball picked themselves back up with a win against the Gophers, and just like Stella, they got their groove back as they took on Ohio State, trailing in the first half until no one other than John Blackwell knocks down a 3. And if that wasn't enough, he gets the steal right after and puts up 2 for 5 points to ignite his team while the Buckeyes tried to fight back in this one. It would be all Badgers as Austin Rapp gets one at the top of the key and knocks down a 3 of his 5 made in the night. Buckeyes know the only thing that was getting bucked in the Kohl Center was them, the Badgers, while Nick Boyd finished it off with 3 of his 21 points, sealing the win 92-82. And Blackwell said the game was fueled by one thing.
Yeah, I know that earlier he had talked about how it was the energy coming into this game that really got the team going. But how about UW women's hockey tonight?
Yeah, I think they just showed that they're able to come together. After losing 5 players to go to the Olympics, you would think maybe they have to lean on their bench a lot, and that they showed that their bench is deep and that they have a lot of people on the rink side that can, step up in those big games. And Casey Hall being one of those with three points tonight. So
yeah, absolutely. Hopefully they can keep things rolling with so many of their players out. But sounds good. Thank you, Kay. A final check of your first win forecast is coming up when we return. All right, Blaze. I'm sure everybody on the other side of the camera can agree that we're all enjoying this warm-up. How much longer is this going to last?
Through the rest of the extended forecast, barred a day or two, we're going to be sitting in the 20s and 30s. So tomorrow we are starting off February underneath more cloudy conditions by the second half of the day. That's also when we'll likely see some of that light snow moving on in. Expect about a half an inch or less. Low 20s Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 30s Thursday and Friday. That's going to make ending the work week so nice. And we'll hang out in the 30s to end that weekend as well.
All right, well, sounds good. Thank you all for joining us. Seinfeld is up next. We'll see you here tomorrow.